part 2, my take on the POOH Shiesty Gucci Mane situation. So last week I did part 1. If you missed that, you might want to go back and watch that, then come back and watch this one. All right. And this time I got some notes with me just so I can make sure I get everything out. First things first, y'all gotta stop taking advice from people talking about what they woulda, shoulda, coulda done, and they ain't never been in that situation. Like, and I'm gonna just go ahead and name some names. I'm talking about people like academics. What's the name? Flacco. Who else? I think I wrote. Oh yeah, Seti Nash, Charleston White. Like, these dudes are either certified rats or tethers who are not even foundational Black Americans. That's a whole nother video. But these people love to speak on Black culture and Black topics, but don't even claim us. But again, like I said, that's a whole nother topic. Now, as far as Gucci goes, like I said on the last video, I was never a fan. I thought he was a garbage rapper. And after dropping that diss track, some call it the snitch track, I feel no different. Like, that was hot garbage. I think he had about 2 or 3 little bars in there. I was like, okay, that was pretty slick. But to me, and there's no disrespect to anybody with learning disabilities. I'm neurodivergent myself, but I always thought he was kind of slow, like short but slow. And I don't feel no different. I still feel that way. Yeah, then his diss track made the news. First time in rap history, a diss track made the news in Memphis, or anywhere, I guess. Well, that's where it made the news at, but first time ever that happened, to my knowledge. Like, in 24 hours, that was wild. It's that. Speaking of time, let's go back in time a little bit. So, and me and my cousin had this conversation yesterday. I had to remind him some stuff too, because we've been trying to figure this one out. We both still confused. All right, now. So, in 2021, okay, so I'm gonna skip the POOH Shiesty real quick. So 2021, POOH Shiesty took a trip to Miami, rented some high-end exotic cars. One was a lime green McLaren, another one was a Maybach off of Turo. Him and his boys went to go get some weed and some shoes from the eBay man and robbed him. In the process of getting away, I believe, dropped a bag with $40,000 in it. Make that make sense. That weekend, end up in some shit at the club, shoots the security guard. Yeah, and the $40K that he dropped, the police ended up matching the serial numbers off it because they was flashing the same money in the club. Was facing 60 plus years for all this foolishness and got 5 1/4. Now, where I'm from, if you're facing 60 years and you get 5, people gonna start calling you a rat. I'm not saying that he is or he did, but I'm just saying the math ain't mathing. Now, where was I? 5 years later, 2-3 months ago, he decides he wants out of his contract with Gucci, and they come up with the idea to rob him in the process of coercing him to sign a release, as if pointing a gun at somebody and making them sign a contract doesn't make it illegal. Like, you can't make this shit up. I told y'all on the last one, I really kind of feel sorry for bro. Yeah, so he decided to commit federal crimes to get out of his contract. That's like trying to fix your motor in your car by taking out the transmission. I mean, come on, make that make sense, y'all. It's like carjacking somebody and saying, hey, hold up, let me give you this title. You sign this title over for me. Like, bruh, for real? I mean, what sense that make? And then, yeah, Daddy Shiesty like, yo, son, this contract ain't no good without a date on it. Nigga, the contract ain't no good when a gun come out for the signature. Really? Told y'all he might have been better being raised by wolves. Whew. Okay, and so for the people talking about, yeah, he stood on business and he did the right thing. What if he actually did get away with it? Just think about that for a second. Say he pulled off the caper, him and Dumb and Dumber ×9, pull off the caper, get away with it, and then 3 months later they find POOH Shiesty in the Mississippi River over there by Bass Pro Shops or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all really thinking this thing through or not? Hold on a second. I don't know if y'all hear that, but somebody riding around playing Gucci right now. How prophetic. But picking up where I was at. Let's see. Oh yeah. This goes to show you that you got to be careful about your circle, man. They say you're only going to be the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So if you hang around 5 broke-minded people, guess who's going to be brokey number 6? On the other hand, if you're blessed and fortunate enough to find 5 millionaires to hang out with, guess who's going to be millionaire number 6? You. All right? Let that go over your head. All right, so, yeah, when POOH Shiesty and them ran up in that studio, as soon as they saw that white boy, they were supposed to abort the mission. Like, that should have been like, what's understood needs no explanation type of thing. But again, I don't think his elevator go to the top either. That's probably why him and Gucci attracted each other into each other's lives, I guess. But yeah, the scarcity mindset, the same scarcity mindset that drove him to rob an honest, hard hustling eBay dude is the same scarcity mindset that drove him to run up in that studio with 8 do-boys, send-offs, goofies, whatever you want to call them. Scarcity mindset. Poison, y'all. So the only way to get away from that is to adopt an abundance mindset, because abundance is our birthright. But I don't want to get too far off track. All right, so what was I? Identity shift. See, what Gucci had was an identity shift, but he's too scared to admit it to the world because of all that I don't snitch, fuck the police, this, that, and the third. I'm a real street nigga, blase, squazzy, whatever. Yeah, so somewhere along the line, Some of y'all say he got cloned. But yeah, somewhere along the line, he adopted a new mentality, which is called an identity shift. Anybody who ever changed their life has done it. Christians do it every time they, quote unquote, get saved. Another conversation. Just trying to make a point. So yeah, the whole thing with the black community is you can't have an identity shift. However we know you, that's how we know you, and that's all we want to know you as. It's like me, I'm always going to be Mikey, you know, to certain people. I'm always going to be little Mike D to certain people. I'm always going to be an ex-convict to certain people. Here go my bro. So, yeah. Identity shift is mandatory if you want to have anything in life. That's the moral of the story. No growth in the black community. Basically, you can't grow to be your highest version. You can't put your past behind you without being called a sellout or whatever other name they want to come up with. So I think that's pretty much what I had. I see my bro, I'm walking up on him. I ain't seen him in a minute. Yeah, I see you, boy.
What up, boy?
Uh-huh. All right, let me get with y'all. Uh-huh. So, I want to talk about accountability real quick, too, because that's the main issue for us as a people. It's like a bad word. It's like a curse word, accountability. No, it's always somebody else's fault. It's always not me. It's never my fault. No accountability. That's what we do, right? So that's one of the reasons why my friends and family are dwindling by the day, because I love accountability. I love keeping myself accountable, and I don't mind keeping somebody else accountable. Probably the Virgo in me, who knows? But anyway, so on that note, back in 2005, Gucci told on Jeezy to the whole world when, you know, whatever happened with them happened. He came out and implicated Jeezy in that, which in 2005, he was still playing by street codes, and we're gonna get back to that too. I got something for you on that. So, he was still in the streets, repping the streets, rapping about the streets, and doing police activity by calling his man out instead of going to get his man. Now, that's one time, and apparently most of y'all forgot about that, especially y'all Gucci fans, talking about how real he was. This was over 20 years ago when he started this snitching behavior, quote unquote, snitching behavior. All right, 8 years later, he outdid himself. Over some jewelry, he filed a lawsuit against Deb Anthony, Walker Flocka mama, Demi sister. Sued her up under the RICO Act for 8 causes of action. That's like 8 charges. So, over some jewelry. Boy, that thing smells good. All right, we'll go. Man, listen, I wish I could right now. I'll get you on the next one. I promise you. So over some jury, he filed this lawsuit up under the RICO Act. So he basically put a RICO charge on Deb Ant. Can't make this up, y'all. Like, go back and do your research if you think I'm lying. This is not what we call G behavior in the streets. That's more like police behavior, especially over some jury, which we all know how much he loves his jury because he asked for scar jury back after he died. Like, he ain't worth however many millions. Really, dude? You can't unlame a lame. So that was 2005, 2013. Now here we are, 2026, and everybody forgot about all that, saying he was so real, so street. Can't make this up. Got my notes again too, y'all. So yeah, and speaking of Deb, she also said that that body that Gucci was riding around talking about smoking on Pookie Loke and all that, she claims he didn't even murk him. Like I guess one of his people did it, and he's taking the credit for it. So does the body really count if he didn't actually commit the murder? Interesting. Now back to the snitch code, right? Y'all gotta stop taking advice from people who think snitch code started in the streets. That is not where that came from. Let's have a little history lesson, y'all. There was a thing called slavery back in the day, right? A lot of people say it never happened, but that's a whole nother conversation. So during slavery time, because it actually did happen, people that wanted to be free, enslaved people that wanted to be free would run away. And there was a code amongst blacks that if somebody got away, you shut your mouth. AKA you didn't snitch on them. That's where that came from, y'all. So please stop listening to these lames and goofies who out here trying to get clicks and views and saying anything. All right. So now that we're clear on that, the song, like I said earlier, hot garbage to me. Like, he never had rap skills. He always sounded like he was rapping for elementary school kids or something. That's why he sounded to me. But to each his own. So, all right now. So, that's pretty much, I think that's all I got for this little part. I'm gonna have to put this video together, y'all, because it's just coming to me in as a stream of thought, so skipping all over the place, so bear with me. I just had to get this off my chest and put a little straightening out on where snitching, or the snitch code actually came from. All right. So, about the snitching, one more thing, or the so-called snitching. What people don't realize is that it's not about quote-unquote snitching. It's about integrity. Back to the personal growth and development I was talking about earlier, accountability. If you can't be trusted because your integrity has been compromised, it's just plain and simple. You can't be trusted. And that's the issue. Also, the bigger issue is why Gucci felt like he was in a position to have to go snitch anyway. That's the conversation that needs to be had. Back to the accountability. POOH Shiesty gets the pass because he was so real and gangster for doing what he did. But the focus has shifted to whether Gucci is real or not. Like, can't make this up. Yeah, so can we keep the main thing the main thing? Oh yeah, real quick before I go, karma and self-sabotage. Like, a lot of people don't believe in karma. They think that's of the devil or whatever. I don't know. The brainwashing is real. But it's all about the law of attraction for me. What you put out is what you get back. Like, I ain't want to get into all the Bible scriptures that proves that. But yeah, karma is real. You can't rap about robbing. You can't rob people and expect not to get robbed eventually. And self-sabotage. That comes from the lack of identity shift. You basically are identifying with low vibrational, lack, doubt, fear, and your thoughts will end up manifesting into acts that cause you to self-sabotage, just like POOH Shiesty, because you don't see yourself as your highest version. All right, so with that said, I'm out of here. Hope y'all got something out of this. Send this to somebody who needs to hear it. You might save somebody's life, because they run around here listening to these goofy lames who ain't never busted a grape, never been to jail, never shot a gun, never been shot at. Again, not glorifying any of that stuff. It just is what it is, though. So yeah, I'm out of here. Remember, either your mind will expand to match your money, or your money will just shrink to match your mind. That's why lottery winners go broke in less than a year. Peace.